Just ask you silence your cell phones, and council members ensure your microphones are turned on. We'll begin momentarily here. Good? Okay. All right. Today's regular legislative meeting of Barberton City Council. It is Monday, September 8th, 2025. Before we begin our regular legislative meeting, we do have individual committee meetings this evening, and we're going to start with City Properties, Parks, and Recreation with Mr. Easterling.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's September 15th here in Council Chambers at 6:04 p.m. All members of the committee are present, including all other council. Guests is noted on the sheet. We have no requests at this time for legislation. We have no pending or appointments at this time as well. I'll open it up to miscellaneous discussion if anyone has anything. Yes, Ms. Gearhart?
It's not miscellaneous. There's just a typo on your page. It's only the 8th.
Oh.
Yeah. Rotten Burgundy.
15 sounds better.
I was like, how did we get so far into the month?
No, it doesn't.
Anything else from?
Do you have any update on the pickleball courts?
So pickleball courts at Edgewood. The insurance check hasn't been released, and therefore they can't sign a contract without the money in place, I guess, with the contractor. So until that insurance claim is settled, which I keep hearing any day or this week, nothing will be done until that money's liquid, I guess is the best way to put it. And that also goes for the dugout down at the foundation fields. I think there's some other repairs at Brightenstein, I think, on the roof of that one bathroom. So all that stuff is
held up,
sitting on someone's desk. And unless someone, do you have any updates, Mayor? No, yes, Ms. Eisman?
I just wanted council to know that we have been addressing and recognizing some things with parks that have not so much been in line with how other departments work. So we have been working on that in terms of doing things as Jeremy would like with financials, and then also having some consistent and the communications being double checked.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else miscellaneous in the gallery? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. At 6:07, we adjourn. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Easterling. Next up, Public Welfare and Safety, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to bring the Public Welfare and Safety Committee to order. It's September 8th, time 6:07 p.m. We're in council chambers. All members of my committee are present, including myself, co-chair Mr. Easterling, Ms. Gearhart, Mr. Greer. All their council members are present. All guests are noted on my sheet. We have no requests for legislation tonight, but we have several pieces that are pending. One is the ordinance number 2025, and that's to amend BCO, Barberton City Ordinance, Chapter 670, Trees, Weeds, and Grass. We have ordinance number 128-2025, amend BCO Chapter 351, Sections 351.13, which is the overnight parking. We have ordinance number 135-2025, which will enter into contract P Fund Superior Sales for an ambulance for the fire department. And then 138-2025, which is a grant application, authorizes the Barberton Fire Department to submit a grant request to the Tuscarora Health and Wellness Foundation for the purchase of 7 AEDs. Anything from my committee? Other council members? Gallery? Mr. Shreve.
I've got a question for you, Councilman Harris. So I do know, so on the 26th of last month, Lisa had sent a new version of 670. Is that the one that is going to be considered?
Well, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
We're looking at some other changes also on that. So it's only been read one time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna read it again tonight and continue with some discussion on that before our third and final reading.
I wasn't sure. I knew Kyle had added some things, and I just realized tonight that there was a couple other things that I wanted to kind of just point out as we're discussing.
Yeah, if you have any changes or what have you, send that to Lisa, Director
Okay.
Miller.
Yeah. And my only concern was the height. So we were looking at the wires are required to be over a certain height, but yet we're going to allow tree limbs to be lower than the wires that. So I think that there's.
Isn't the wire supposed to be like 15?
14, I
14
think. It's either 14 or 15, and we were going to allow 12 and a half or 13 for trees. So
Right.
I just think some of it's just little word edits.
And that's something that we're working on with the law director.
Perfect.
So, great, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else from the gallery? Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make that motion.
And I will second that motion.
Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:09 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Next up is Rules, Marketing, and Development. Ms. Gerhardt.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to call the Rules, Marketing, and Development Committee to order. The date is Monday, September 8th, 2025. The time is 6:10 p.m. and we are in council chambers. All members of my committee are present, including myself as chair, Mrs. Beck as co-chair, Mr. Heidick and President Greer. All other council members as noted on my sheet, and guests as noted on my sheet. Our first topic of discussion are the rule changes for the council rules. Does everybody have their copy of that with them tonight?
In email form, yes.
I have it right here.
In email form.
Okay. Well, I'll turn to page 5. No. All right, so one of the first changes appears on 6. I see, I guess it's proposed to change the recess from August to July. Have we talked about that, or?
Yeah, why did you want to change that?
What was the change on there?
It's in the middle of summer, 4th of July. People are all out, out of school. Figured instead of August when everybody's trying to rush around, everybody just take the summer there.
What is council's thought on that? Mr. Griffin?
We have the Mom Fest, September, and we have back to school, and you have the tax-free couple weeks for parents to get their kids shopping. So I think August is a good time because it doesn't affect me. So I have no kids or whatever. But other people that might be coming on, they would have that time to do their shopping, and like I said, the Labor Day, Mom Fest, future politicians could get their parades together, so I think we should stay with August.
All right. Councilman Harris?
I agree with Mr. Griffin. I think August is a great time. You have the tax-free days where parents who have children going back, school shopping, and they have a lot to prepare for. And although school starts earlier and earlier every year, it seems like, August seems like a good month to be free of, getting your household in order and I think August is a great month for recess.
Any other thoughts or opinions?
I'm not really, either way.
Does anybody want it to go to July? Or is keeping it in August fine?
I'm fine with August.
I like August.
Let's keep it in August.
Nope, strike that one out then.
Thank you.
Doesn't befriend me.
Next was meeting frequency, special meetings. It looks like we made some adjustments, that sending us a notification in email. That makes sense. Rule 107. So this talked about making sure that president or whoever's presiding as president that evening are merely there for tie breaking.
Correct.
Okay.
This clarifies, so the incident that happened can't happen again because no one saw that coming. So this was,
Right.
puts it in black and white.
Yeah, that was 1,000,000 to 1 odds, so that puts it in print, okay. Adding on to committees, environmental health and social services will also have information technology. I read about that further back here. It was basically they would be in contact with the city IT department, is that right, Councilman Heidick?
Scroll down here.
It's back here towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, it shall also work with the city's IT department concerning the city's IT functionality and compliance with applicable laws.
It's 2025. We need somebody on council as a liaison to IT.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you guys think the internet's going away soon.
That makes
It might be.
sense.
Well, that depends on if we have electricity, doesn't it?
I was just gonna make that comment.
Don't get me started.
All right, public welfare and safety and public relations. So that is, shall also work with all departments, directors, and administration regarding public notices, conveying information at meetings, and any matter concerning the city. I think that's a great add-on, especially with the role we were hoping to have a shift with.
Public information officer.
Yeah. Thoughts on that, Councilman Harris, since this is currently your committee?
No, I don't disagree. I know the police department has a public information officer. I know the fire department has a public information officer. The city puts out stuff. We use Nixle. So, I mean, sure.
All right. Moving along. I like that.
What one was that?
I went past page number 9.
No, under 107, the proposal of charter review, number 9.
Sorry, did I not have it highlighted? What page are you on?
I don't.
In the email.
Yeah, we're in the email, but under Rule 107.
Oh, right there. I forgot to highlight it. Charter review. That was also in the back, giving us an explanation, right? Where did that go? Okay. This committee shall convey whenever an amendment to the charter is proposed, any and all legislation for resolution to direct the Board of Elections to place the amendment on the ballot shall only pass this committee by 2/3 majority affirmative vote. The legislative procedure shall be followed in the same method as prescribed in these rules and the charter. So what does this look like played out?
So, right now, charter amendment goes through the Rules Committee, where there's 3 members. What this would be is, whether the charter review or a counselor proposes a charter amendment, this committee would be triggered to me. It would be, the committee would consist of everybody. in order to follow the legislative procedures for something to go through committee and then go to the floor, this would have to pass the committee, which would be 8. It would have to pass by 2/3. Thus, if it doesn't make the floor because it wouldn't even pass anyway. So it still respects our legislative process, but at the same time, it doesn't shut out 5 other members from the committee work.
So if it passed 2/3, which we haven't got this into place yet, but could that just instantly go on consent agenda and then be done with it?
It could, yes.
If we ever get that ball back rolling?
Well,
It's coming.
that's coming
It's
up in
coming.
your
Oh, good.
But yes, that's because we have to have a resolution to place something on the ballot, which means, according to our rules and charters, it has to go through a committee, pass the committee, then go to the floor. Well, it was said during the charter amendments that it didn't seem right that 3 members controlled the entire process there. So what this would do is give everybody the say, because if it was 5-4 or 5-3, it wouldn't pass the floor anyway. So then it would die in committee, and everybody would have had their say.
All of our committees are governed by 3 people, so there are tons of things that die in committee all of the time that don't get to legislative committee, or legislative, and everybody votes. But everybody does get a say because we have the miscellaneous discussion during every single committee. We ask for other members to speak up. We ask for members from the gallery to speak up. So, you know, everything does get to be debated out, talked about, opinions met. So I don't really see the need for this. But also, we kind of already, any one of us can propose a charter amendment anytime through rules, anytime. So I don't really see the need for this.
Mr. Heike and then Mrs. Lund.
Thank you, Chair. To Councilor Beck's point, let's say 3 people on Rules Committee, somebody that's not on Rules Committee proposes a charter amendment, and everybody likes it except 2 people on that committee. That would have passed the floor 6-2 and went to the ballot. But those 2 people were able to nullify the other 6. And this, yes, certain committees can kill certain pieces of legislation. This, the whole function of it, is only dealing with sending things to the ballot to let the people vote. It's not making an ordinance. It's not making rules and laws. It's merely following the charter and following the legislative procedure. But, you know, when we had those test votes, that, okay, which ones are going to move on? This takes care of that. We don't have to have that whole marathon of committee, then that, then this. This it cleans it up and allows everybody to have the say. Because again, 3 people on a committee, 2 could kill it, where the other 6 think it's absolutely wonderful and want the voters to decide. But then those 6 are screwed.
Hold on, Mrs. Thompson.
That's actually what I was gonna say if I proposed a change, but then it was voted down by 2 members, even though everybody else agrees with it. I think it's a great idea to have a say in that, because like Mr. Heidick said, ultimately it goes to the voters and stuff like that, you know, I mean, it should.
One thing before you go, I did think it was very confusing. We kind of like let things out of our committee, but then it had to come back through our committee to go to, like, I think this would eliminate that?
Yes,
Because that was very confusing.
it's guaranteed to eliminate that.
Yeah.
Mrs. Lund.
Things don't make it through committee all of the time. And being upset about things that don't make it through committee or get voted down, that's life, guys. I think this is happening because you didn't like the way things went. I've left out of here not liking the way things have gone a lot of times. And I don't propose rule changes to make it easier for my point to get across and through and to an ordinance or a charter amendment or anything like that. That's life, guys. That is life.
Anyone else? All right.
Chair, I asked the chair to ask for a show of hands to who would like to keep that in and who would not.
All right.
These are rules which aren't subject to the legislative procedure, so we can do that.
Okay, can I have a show of hands who would not like to see a charter review added to the committees?
Wait,
Who does not want to see number 9 added? No
like if
charter
I would vote
review?
no on that. That would be me.
Does anybody else?
No.
You're a no, so I have 2 no's.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone who would like to see this, can I see it by a show of hands? So yes, we'll keep that one. All right. So I don't think this is where it would fall, Councilman Heidick, but page 9, this is definitely not where it would fall. Did we put anywhere in the rules that we are going to be recording, live streaming council meetings? I was thinking that was one President Greer wanted us to include somewhere.
What number are you under?
It wouldn't fall where I'm at. I just happened to see recordings, and it jogged my memory to ask you about that.
Again, what you said?
What's the next closest one?
Next closest one,
The next closest number?
I'm at 202.
202,
So under Act 202.
audio and vision.
It's order in council
So
though.
that's voice, are you talking voice, audio, video recordings and messages?
No, like I
No,
said,
that's
that's just
addressing.
what kind of made me remember to ask you if we have it in here that we're going to be recording and live streaming council meetings.
No, this is,
The one on 9 is what to do if I receive a recording.
Correct.
for
right,
you guys.
that's
That's why I
That's
said
if somebody
it's not
called in
related.
for a comment.
It just made me think to ask him. Thank you.
We could amend that to put it in writing.
I think we still need to add that one somewhere.
Yeah.
well, if everybody's comfortable adding it. We have the law director put it in there.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Because we already do
Yes.
it, it's just getting it written down. Okay. The next one, there was just a little couple words added under language and attire, defined as wearing generally conservative clothing to portray yourself in a professional manner. I think that sounds fine. Page 13, this is Rule 206, Order of Business, Consent Agenda. We knew it was coming, Mr. Easterling. Councilman Heidick, can you go over what that looks like played out?
Well, this, under 206, 206 is just, if we do it, where it would be on the legislative agendas sheet there, so.
I see it a little bit later. It
Yeah,
says
I've got to
the
scroll
chair
down to
of
find
each-
it there.
Yeah, the chair of each committee may motion each request to be placed on a consent agenda with a unanimous vote
There it is.
from his or her committee.
Correct.
So that's really just if everybody's in agreement.
So an example of that would be Counselor Harris has the tree ordinance in his. But he also knew that work still needed to be done. So in his committee, he would not motion it to consent agenda. That way it can still follow the legislative
Get all of its
procedure.
readings in.
But if it was something that he was comfortable with after all the work was done, he could motion to add it to it, so it would be there. But that would be the safeguard against, okay, we've got it, but as Director Shreve said, he was concerned about one thing, still getting fixed. Say we had consent agenda for tonight, the consent agenda would be voted, and then that would be read after that for its second reading.
Okay, gotcha. I think we've talked about that in the past, and it was something we all wanted to see, correct?
And Miss Miller isn't here. She had quite a bit of information on it as well, so.
Okay. So we'll leave that one there. under Rule 302C. Timeliness, unless the letter as approved in Rule 301 is received by 12:01 PM 10 days prior to the committee. What are we taking out there?
Okay, so President Greer and I, there has been times in the past where, because of how this says 10 days before committee of the whole, it's possible to have gotten something so late, but yet coming right into it because it was 10 days. Committee of the whole meets here. Well, if your committee met the day, the week before, the timing could get screwed up where really 10 days isn't 10 days before your committee. It's 10 days before the whole. This just solidifies that each committee is basically its own standing authority to have 10 days before it.
Gotcha. Okay. I like that.
That makes sense to everybody?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And then we finally got liquor license added in. Can you summarize that for us, Councilman Heidig?
It's pretty much, if you read through all the language in it, it's basically what the ORC says the procedure is. We just never had it in writing. If there's an objection to a liquor license, never had it in writing, now we do. But this is really just based on the ORC codes.
Okay.
No, I know that's
And that was good getting it in writing because I think it was referred to the Wild Wild West at one point.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're in Rule 401D. The chair of each committee may motion each request to be placed, though, we already read that consent agenda. Rule 404, motions put and voted. So this is talking about if it's referred from another committee, in such case that neither are present or one of both dissents, any member may make either motion.
The way the rules work now is the chair is supposed to motion, the co-chair is supposed to second. Truly, if one of them dissents or one of them's absent, who makes what motion? This opens it up to, if there's an absence or a dissension, any member can make the motion to move forward. So if, again, I'll use Councilor Harris there, if Councilor Easterling didn't like the tree ordinance, he would be seconding your motion. Well, according to the rules, he's dissenting, so he's not going to second. Or in a worse scenario, you're absent that night. It falls on him to make the initial motion. If he dissents and doesn't make the motion, who makes it?
No one.
Right. So this just allows that a member can make the motion.
President Greer?
Thank you, Chair. Would it make sense? Sorry. My concern with that, it would make a committee irrelevant at that point. So that's just I would almost make sense if the co-chair of the other committee, it went through the chain, and if that entire committee chose not to, which if it got to that point, that means it did, it would have been null and void anyways. I'm not sure that all members should be opened up, but just the members of the committee. Would that make sense?
Means there's only two, though. And if one's
No,
not going to motion.
if Easterling didn't want to put, it would go to his co-chair rather than anybody, right? It would stay in his
Yeah.
committee or, so.
Thank you, sir. To that point, with 3 members of a committee, if 2 dissent, it never made it out of committee to start, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Then it wouldn't be an issue having them vote.
What if one's absent? What if 2 of them are absent? I mean, these are, I just rather put it in the rules. If nobody wants it in there, it doesn't affront me a bit, but I was just trying to make a case that, if 2 people are absent on the committee, who seconds? Anybody?
Then it gets read again.
Seconds.
It just gets read again.
Does it?
Well, if two members of that committee are absent anyways, you wouldn't have a quorum for it. Correct?
This deals.
Yeah, this is on the
deals
floor.
with the legislative.
Yeah, this is on the floor.
Once it's already passed committee.
Oh, that's what you, okay.
Yeah, once it's passed committee and on the floor, if two members of the committee happen to be absent the same night, who makes the
Okay.
motions?
Yeah, it's more housekeeping than anything. Like, I'm not opposed to that. I'm just saying it. I'd like to keep some guardrails on some things.
We have other thoughts on this one?
Think about it.
Can we think about that one?
You're the chair,
We're
but,
gonna think about that one.
okay. But may I remind one thing? We've been thinking about rules for a long, long time.
Can I remind you of one thing? I still think we're gonna beat the development code.
Ouch.
Okay? I'm not the one administering that code.
Well, as soon as we agree on everything, it's done that night, right?
On a legislative night, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
I'm happy to do that.
So this is going into consent agenda a little bit more. I think we already talked about
did.
that, though. Does anybody have any questions on consent agenda? Plus, we need that one added, Councilman
Well-
Heidig.
This one, sure.
Oh, yes, correct. Uh-huh.
This one has the provisions of how it actually works on the night.
Okay. Each item will be read individually into the record, and the consent agenda will then be enacted as a whole and by one motion and one roll call. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion by council is desired on any consent agenda, or if discussion is requested by the public on any legislative item on the consent agenda, that item will be removed from the consent agenda by council motion and considered in its normal sequence under the regular order of business. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of that is, say there's a DORA thing in front of us right now, I have to abstain. It has to be pulled from the consent agenda
Gotcha.
because I can't vote for one piece of it.
Right. Okay. This one on page 22, I know Mrs. Beck wanted, for the interviews, council shall convene with no fewer than 2 meetings. So this is under filling vacancies. I think that's a good one.
Was it 603?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot to digest in one night, and I think our second night, we could skip all the generic questions and really get to it. So, does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
I did have a question on that one. Sorry. Would every candidate have a mandatory 2 interviews? Could anybody be eliminated after one?
I think I left it open. I worded it so it isn't so constricting. So we need to meet 2 times as a council. But if there's a really clear, no, thank you, I don't want to corral the council in and saying we have to spend another 2 hours in here and some of it is devoted to somebody that nobody wants. So I didn't want to tie our hands that way.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for explaining that. Section 7, don't see anything. And then we're kind of over here where different committees, what we were adding to environmental health and what we were adding to public welfare and safety. Has anybody thought, as you've been in your committee for almost 2 years, of something you would have liked to see added or missing or taken away, or just for conversation purposes?
Honestly, I think my biggest thing is just the consent agenda, because I have a lot of like common sense. We need to pay an invoice. So for me, that's just the biggest thing. So we
Okay.
covered that.
think with mine, and maybe this is a conversation for me to get with the mayor on, it really only has this person on the BCDC, but I know we then added this person to the BCIC. And I feel like we have other forms of economic development in the city now. So that might be, can you think of anything else that would put this person on that would make more sense than the BCDC?
Not really.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I believe there's enough representation on Main Street. That's kind of centrally focused.
Yeah.
That'd be the only other one.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts, or is there anything we missed? Oh,
I was trying to find it there. The, in regards to the BCIC, that would fall under public relations because we passed an ordinance that the BCIC is an acting agent for the city. So anything there would be pretty much public, which would fall under that, I would assume.
which one is that under? I'm sorry.
The public welfare, safety, and
Public
public
welfare,
relations.
yeah.
Because they're an acting agent of the city, they're not actually like a BCDC separate type thing. They are what they are there. So I would
Okay.
assume that would fall under
So
that.
public relations would go to the BCIC.
That's who would be in charge of,
Yep.
basically our liaison to talk with the administration, say, hey, what's going on with the BCIC? Because that's part of the public
Yeah.
relations there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right, is there any miscellaneous discussion on the rule changes? President Greer?
Thank you, Chair. Just real quick, I know we've kind of talked about it, and on the consent agendas, completely 100% agree. I don't know if there's one council person that disagrees with that. However, we're not going to be here forever. What are the guardrails in place to ensure that's not abused?
Councilman Heidick?
Under the proposed rule, to place something on the consent agenda, the committee has to be unanimous.
Okay, so that's 3 people.
And
Uh,
if,
And if there's one person that in council that doesn't agree with it, then it doesn't make it?
Could also be the public.
if there's one person on the committee that dissents, then it follows the regular legislative procedure.
Right, I understand that,
Yeah.
but, again, we're not gonna be here forever. Is there any way to remove it from the consent agenda outside of the committee?
Yeah, that's,
Talked about if the public.
where did it go?
Or like he explained, if you have to abstain.
If discussion by council is desired on any consent agenda item, or if discussion is requested by the public on any legislative item on the consent agenda, that item will be removed from the consent agenda by council motion and considered in normal sequence.
Awesome. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted it read out loud. It's a scary topic from people I've talked to.
That was the one that Councilman Heidick said, this is giving better explanation
Yep.
when we talk about it. Okay. Good question. Anybody else? All right. Next up, my pending legislation, ordinance 127-2025. This is opposing cuts, HUD Community Development Block Grant Program, a resolution opposing cuts to the HUD Community Development Block Program, the CDBG program by the federal government, and declaring an emergency. Any questions on that?
I got a question. Did you guys vote on the last one?
Well, we're gonna wait.
Okay.
Because we need to add, we have to ask the law director to add the one
Gotcha.
about recording and broadcasting. And we're thinking about one of them. So, I think we can get this done by next legislative night though. All right, any other miscellaneous conversation? President Greer?
Thank you again, Chair. Just be sure to send over that list once you compile them, so I can call for a vote at the end of the meeting, and we'll get it formalized and in place finally.
Okay. So I can just pull everything out just like we did with charter amendments and just list it off.
You don't even, it doesn't even have to come out of your committee. We can call for a vote for whatever you want at the end.
We'll put it all together.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get it.
All right. See, discussion. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. In a second?
Oh, a second. I'm sorry, I was reading something there. My apologies.
That's okay. We are adjourned at 6:43 PM.
Thank you, Ms. Gerhart. Next up is utilities, city utilities.
Thank you, President Greer. I would like to call this meeting to order today, Monday, September 8th. We're in council chambers. All members of my committee are present: Jennifer Hager, myself as chair, Emily Beck, and Jesse Greer. We have no new legislation to call for tonight, and we have no pending legislation. But we do have some miscellaneous discussion from the gallery.
You ready for that, Ed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've never been here before. Am I to speak here? That's okay. Okay. Good evening. My name is Kate Raymond. I live at 229 Hampshire Road in Akron. I work as a dentist at 4332 South Cleveland Masson Road in Norton on the Barberton Ward 5 border, and I have for the past 33 years. I want to just hope you'll indulge me for a couple minutes. I want to share with you tonight something that I care deeply about in our community, and that I think that it's really important that you know about. Maybe you do already, but if not, then I hope for this to be informational to you. Glenn Yasko and I are here tonight to share with you what we know and don't know about a proposal before the Norton Planning Commission for a massive data center and liquid natural gas power plant on the old PPG property in Norton. We feel this project may have significant impact on our Barberton neighbors. Glenn and I represent a growing group of concerned citizens opposed to this project. We hope that by hearing some of our concerns tonight, you will be moved to ask your own questions of this project and share this information with your constituents. We know data centers consume vast amounts of water annually, and obviously we're talking about utilities. Hundreds of millions of gallons. We have heard that the developer plans to purchase water from Barberton. We know that Barberton provides water to around 29,000 households each year. By adding a data center in our community, it would be like adding an additional 2,000 residents dropped on your utilities right out of the gate. Probably would make the Wolf Creek watershed a little bit more fragile than it is. And I want to remind everybody that by adding this amount of water usage, that comes directly out of Barberton's drinking water. We also know that this proposal is only phase one. We do not know what infrastructure would be needed to get this water, or how disruptive or costly this would be to residents. We do not, or the city. We do not know what impact infrastructure and construction would have on traffic in this area, on the condition of our shared roads, on our local businesses. We know this proposal calls for 6 natural gas turbines, essentially creating a giant liquid natural gas power plant on site. We have heard the gas will arrive by rail and or pipeline. I'm sure I don't need to explain to all of you the extraordinary risk of rail cars full of liquid natural gas rolling through our neighborhoods day and night. We all lose if we repeat East Palestine. And if by pipeline, more infrastructure, more cost, more disruption will be needed to bring it. We know that natural gas is dirty and expensive. How will we know Barberton residents, especially those downwind in Ward 5, will be safe from emissions pollution? And what if, God forbid, there's a fire or an explosion? We know data centers are extremely noisy and unrelentingly so. They run 24/7, 365 days a year. We have read stories of citizens whose properties abut these data centers describe the noise as being next to a busy runway day and night. How will all that noise change residents' property values? Who would choose to buy a home only hundreds of feet from a project like this? Glenn and I know we do not have Barberton addresses, but we do have sincere concern about our sister city and her citizens. We have asked Norton City Council to stand behind a public forum to join all involved parties in this project so we can ask questions and get real answers, real data. We are most concerned about the lack of public information available to us and the lack of transparency in a project with such high stakes to each of us personally and to both our communities. We invite you to join us in opposition to this project, to stand up for our communities, our citizens, and our vital resources. Thank you for your time and consideration tonight. I really appreciate being able to speak to you all about this. I cannot stay tonight, but I believe Glenn is going to stay tonight if anybody has further questions. And we can certainly provide more information as needed. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I think Glenn wants to. What is going on?
Yeah, thank you. You have any more miscellaneous discussion?
My name is Glenn Yasko. I live at 3717 Ori Avenue in Norton. I am concerned about this project also. One of the few things that Kate did not mention is that this is an unregulated industry, and the CO2 emissions have been relaxed by the EPA in May for automobiles and industry. Even though they promise that they are going to reduce the carbon emissions, they don't have to. They can do the minimum that is required. And there is a primary school, we will say downwind from the project, because we do experience predominantly west winds. That the CO2 emissions, we all share the same air. And one of the other things, you may be asking yourselves, what can we do on the City Council of Barberton? If you view the minutes of the Planning Commission's meeting on July 22nd, there is mention that Barberton owns the first 10 feet of easement to Limestone Drive. You could halt this project in a New York minute. That is all I have to say. I want to thank you for your time and allowing me to speak and your service to your communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more miscellaneous? If not, could I have, yes, Mr. Harris?
Mr. Yasko talked about the planning commission meeting. That would be the Norton Planning Commission.
Right, yeah. Saw Stacy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not Barberton, Norton
No.
Planning Commission.
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you. Rebecca?
I was gonna ask the mayor, has Norton reached out and talked to you about this at all?
No. Well, what I can see is we need more information. We need to sit down and talk, and everyone needs to go to the meeting and ask questions, and it has to be brought out exactly what this is, and who it's going to affect, and how it's going to be done. Plain and simple. Yes, Mr. Hardy.
Thank you, Chair. In light of our guest's comments there, I am extremely concerned now. I didn't know too much about the project. We have enough unfunded mandates that dictate our water plant. We're going through an $11 million rehab of our dam. That's a scary notion that they're going to drop that kind of usage on our city. You know, I know Norton and Barberton have agreements with water and sewer, but one thing that wasn't mentioned there, once they said that, it triggered my mind, what kind of sewage does a plant like that need, and is our system capable of keeping up with that? We had to scrape and dig for every grant money we could just to fix the dam. The EPA tells us all the time, Director Shreve, Mayor, you all know this, you gotta fix this. Okay, well, give us the money. No, find it yourself. This is gravely concerning to me now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heineck. Well, this is not over. This is just the beginning. So, hope everybody took note of it. Thank you. Do we have any more miscellaneous? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Hager. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Beck. We are adjourned at 6:56.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Oh, last but not least, Finance and Personnel, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to bring the Finance and Personnel Committee to order. It is Monday, September 8th, 2025, 6:54 PM here in council chambers. All members of the committee are present, which includes myself as chair, Mr. Heidig, Mr. Griffin, and Mr. Greer. All other council members are also present, as well as guests as noted on my sheet. This evening, we will be voting on the acceptance of the finance report for the month of July. We have several pieces of pending legislation, the first being Resolution 129, 2025, titled Advance of Local Taxes. This is a resolution of the council authorizing the advance of local taxes by the county fiscal office for the 2025 tax year payable in 2026 and declaring an emergency. Resolution 130-2025, titled Certifying Property Tax Rates. This would accept the amounts and rates of property tax as determined by the Budget Commission of Summit County and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Summit County Auditor for the year of 2026 and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 131-2025, titled Appropriation Police Department. This would appropriate $25,000 of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund to the operation and maintenance budget of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund and declaring an emergency. This is for several capital needs within the department, including upgraded computer software and Detective Bureau equipment. Ordinance 132-2025, titled Appropriation Law Department. This would appropriate $15,000 of the unappropriated item of the general fund to the Law Department's operation and maintenance budget and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 133-2025, titled Lease Purchase Agreement, Huntington National Bank. This ordinance authorizes the Director of Finance to execute and deliver a lease purchase agreement with the Huntington National Bank and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 134-2025, titled Appropriation Fire Department. This would appropriate $75,000 from the unappropriated item of the general fund to the capital budget of the fire department in the general fund and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 136-2025, titled Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding. This would be to enter into contract with the County of Summit and the communities that are signatories to the attached updated agreement entitled Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding for Job Creation and Retention and Tax Incentive, effective October 1st, 2025 and expiring September 30th, 2026, to express a mutual desire to retain and attract businesses and jobs as outlined in said agreement and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 137-2025, titled Appropriation Fire Department. This would appropriate $4,842.04 from the unappropriated item of the general fund to the fire department's operating budget and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 139-2025, titled Appropriation Utilities Department. This would appropriate $300,000 from the unappropriated item of the water fund to the capital budget of the water fund and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 140-2025, titled Appropriation Utilities Department. This would appropriate $90,000 from the unappropriated item of the water plant construction fund to the capital budget of the water plant construction fund and declaring an emergency. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, is there any miscellaneous discussion for finance and personnel? Mr. Flaker's not here this evening. Mayor, do you have anything for finance this evening?
I do not.
Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion?
Thank you, and a second?
A second.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:58.
Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. That concludes our individual committee meetings for this evening. Let's take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 7:10 PM and start our regular legislative meeting.
like to be the treasurer.
Thank you.
Everything inside of them. That's the part that I don't do.
Come on, kids.
And I don't know how.
All right, just a reminder, have your cell phones off or on silent. And council members, ensure your microphones are turned on. Today is Monday, September 8th, 2025. It is 7:12 PM. This is a regular legislative meeting of Barberton City Council. I call this meeting to order at 7:12 PM. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Mrs. Hager.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us here tonight. Help to guide our decisions to be what is best for our community and the people that live there, and not in and help us to not let our decisions be about our own egos. Please protect our fire department, our police officers, and our military. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Hager. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
President Burr.
Present?
Mr. Hyden.
Here.
Mrs. Thompson.
Here.
Mrs. Hager.
Here.
Mr. Easterling.
Here.
Mr. Griffin. Here. Mrs. Beck.
Here.
Ms. Gerhart.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here. Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes of the regular or special legislative meeting held on Monday, August 4th, 2025, as presented. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to approve the minutes of the special legislative session on Monday, August 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Heidick's motion on approving the minutes.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Heidick and second by Mrs. Thompson to approve the minutes of the special legislative meeting held on Monday, August 4th, 2025, as presented. Are there any remarks? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minutes are adopted. Approval of the minutes of the special legislative meeting held on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, as presented. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to approve the minutes of the special legislative meeting from Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Heidick's motion on approving the minutes.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Heidick and second by Mrs. Thompson to approve the minutes of the special legislative meeting held on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, as presented. Are there any remarks? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those minutes are adopted. Approval of the minutes of the executive session held on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, as presented. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the approval of the minutes of the executive session from Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Mr. Heidick's motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Heidick and second by Mrs. Thompson for the approval of the minutes of the executive session held on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, as presented. Are there any remarks? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those minutes are accepted. Finance report, acceptance of the Finance Department report for the month of July 2025 as presented. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the acceptance of the finance report for the month of July 2025 as presented.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion of acceptance.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to accept the Finance Department report for the month of July 2025 as presented. Are there any remarks? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Finance Department report, it has been accepted. Petitions and claims.
We have none.
Matters requested.
They've all been approved.
Citizens addressing council. I don't believe we have any. I'll just have to ask one more time. I didn't check. All right, there are none. All right, first reading of ordinances and resolutions.
Ordinance number 127-2025, presented by Ms. Gerhart. Title: Opposing Cuts HUD Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program. A resolution opposing cuts to the HUD Community Development Block Grant CDBG program by the federal government and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Ms. Gerhart.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second Ms. Gerhardt's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Ms. Gerhart, and seconded by Mrs. Beck to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Ms. Gerhart.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 127-2025.
Thank you, and Mrs. Beck.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second Ms. Gerhardt's motion on adoption.
Thank you. A motion was made by Ms. Gerhart and seconded by Mrs. Beck to adopt ordinance number 127-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 128-2025, presented by Mr. Harris. Title, amend BCO Chapter 351, Section 351.13, overnight parking. An ordinance amending Barberton Codified Ordinances, Section 351, Chapter 351, Section 351.13, overnight parking, to include 2 new subsections and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the first reading, Mr. Harris? Is it going first reading?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to suspend, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you, Mr. Easterling.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Councilman Harris's suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harris and seconded by Mr. Easterling to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 128-2025.
Thank you. And Mr. Easterling?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to second Mr. Harris's motion on adoption.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harris and seconded by Mr. Easterling to adopt ordinance number 128-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Resolution number 129-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Advance of Local Taxes. A resolution of the Council of the City of Barberton authorizing the advance of local taxes by the County Fiscal Office for the 2025 tax year payable in 2026 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rule is required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of resolution number 129-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt resolution number 129-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Resolution Resolution number 130-2025 presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Certifying Property Tax Rates. A resolution accepting the amounts and rates of property taxes as determined by the Budget Commission of Summit County and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Summit County Auditor for the year 2026 and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you, Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of resolution number 130-2025.
Thank you, Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt resolution number 130-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 131-2025 presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Police Department. An ordinance appropriating $25,000 from the unappropriated item of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund to the operation and maintenance budget of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 131-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 131-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 132-2025 presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Law Department. An ordinance appropriating $15,000 from the unappropriated item of the general fund to the law department's operation and maintenance budget and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 132-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 132-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
That tripped me up. Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 133-2025 presented by Mrs. Thompson. titled Lease Purchase Agreement, Huntington National Bank. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Finance to execute and deliver a lease purchase agreement with Huntington National Bank and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 133-2025.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 133-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 134-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Fire Department. An ordinance appropriating $75,000 from the unappropriated item of the general fund to the capital budget of the fire department in the general fund and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 134-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 134-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 135-2025, presented by Mr. Harris. Title, Enter into Contract for Funds Superior Sales. An ordinance authorizing the city of Barberton to enter into contract with the Funds Superior Sales in the amount of $318,925 for the purchase of a 2027 Ford F-450 Lifeline Superliner ambulance for the fire department and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. Mr. Easterling.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Harris's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harris and seconded by Mr. Easterling to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 135-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Easterling.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Harris's motion on adoption.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harris and seconded by Mr. Easterling to adopt ordinance number 135-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 136-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding. An ordinance to enter into a contract with the County of Summit and the communities that are signatories to the attached updated agreement entitled Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding for Job Creation and Retention and Tax Incentive, effective October 1, 2025, and expiring September 30th, 2026, to express a mutual desire to retain and attract businesses and jobs as outlined in said agreement and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you, Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. Motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 136-2025.
Thank you, Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 136-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 137-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Fire Department. An ordinance appropriating $4,842.04 from the unappropriated item of the general fund to the fire department's operating budget and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you, Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Counselor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rule as required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 137-2025.
Thank you, and Mr. Heidick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 137-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Resolution number 138-2025, presented by Mr. Harris. Title, Grant Application. A resolution of the Council of the City of Barberton supporting and authorizing the Barberton Fire Department to submit a grant request to the Tuscarora Health and Wellness Foundation for the purchase of 7 AEDs for use in the fire department apparatus and auxiliary vehicles in the amount of $14,629.72 and declaring an emergency.
Motion to adopt, Mr. Harris.
Suspension.
Or suspend, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you for not answering that. And Mr. Easterling?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Harris's motion for suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harris and seconded by Mr. Easterling to suspend the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of resolution number 138-2025.
Thank you. And Mr. Easterling?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to second Mr. Harris's motion on adoption.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mr. Harrison, second by Mr. Easterling to adopt resolution number 138-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 139-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Utilities Department. An ordinance appropriating $300,000 from the unappropriated item of the water fund to the capital budget of the water fund and declaring an emergency.
Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Councilor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and second by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 139-2025.
Thank you. And Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and second by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 139-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
Ordinance number 140-2025, presented by Mrs. Thompson. Title, Appropriation Utilities Department. An ordinance appropriating $90,000 from the unappropriated item of the water plant construction fund to the capital budget of the water plant construction fund and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Motion to suspend, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules required by Section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter be suspended.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second Councilor Thompson's motion on suspension.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and second by Mr. Heidick to suspend the rules required by section 5.10 of the Barberton City Charter. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on suspension.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Motion for suspension carries. Motion to adopt, Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 140-2025.
Thank you. Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will second the motion to adopt.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mrs. Thompson and second by Mr. Heidick to adopt ordinance number 140-2025. Are there any remarks? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption.
Mrs. Hager?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart?
Yes.
Mr. Easterling?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Heidick?
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
Motion for adoption carries.
This ends the first reading.
Second reading of ordinances and resolutions.
Ordinance number 95-2025, presented by Mr. Harris. Title, Amend BCO Chapter 670, Trees, Weeds, and Grass. An ordinance amending Barberton's codified ordinances, Chapter 670, Trees, Weeds, and Grass, to include 3 new sections, 670.06, nuisance trees, shrubs, bushes, grasses, and weeds, 670.07, abatement of declared nuisances, trees, shrubs, bushes, grass, and weeds, and 670.08, assessment of cost by the municipality of declared nuisances and declaring an emergency. This is the second reading. The first reading was on July 28, 2025.
All right. Okay. Well, but we're not voting on it. It's going one more time, Mr. Harris.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
So this ends the second reading.
Thank you. Third reading of ordinances and resolutions.
There are none.
Appointments.
There are none.
Miscellaneous and unfinished business. I don't think we have any today. Communication from the body. Anything from council? Oh, so Mrs. Hager.
State Street is coming along swimmingly.
As you would know more than anybody.
Oh, yeah. They're actually, well, it's been in stages, which is kind of weird because it hasn't been like a normal road resurfacing, but they're finally putting down the layers of asphalt today. So it should be done within the next couple of days, I would imagine.
Oh boy, it'd be nice to get those castings out of the way. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Anything else from the body? I don't have much other than if that consent agenda passes, it's a shame that I'll be done. So that would have been nice to have. I think I've read those suspension things more. I'm going to say it in my sleep. We'll just say that. Anything else from the body? Anything from department head? Nothing?
Not tonight.
All right.
Thank you, though.
Communication from the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week, there were some questions, comments made about a few of the boards, so I want to kind of address those. Utilities Appeal Board, this is in the charter, as you know. The members are appointed by the mayor, not confirmed by council. That was an ordinance passed before I was mayor back in 2010. There's 3 members. The committee meets only as needed. So if someone disputes their utility bill, they want to come in and appeal that, that's when the board meets. Council members are copied on the letters for these appeals. It may just be the utilities committee, but you don't get a vote, but you are notified. The garbage can pullback ordinance, that would fall under, if you want to appeal, that would be the BZA, not this one. Flood Action Committee, this was established by my administration in 2012. Obviously, a lot of flooding that the city has undertaken, mostly in South Barberton and on the near west side, 14th through 19th Street, we'll call it. Obviously, flooding throughout the entire city. You don't have storm sewers everywhere, so whether that's ponding in the street or backyard flooding or front yard flooding, things like that. But I can tell you firsthand that in South Barberton and 14th Street, I've walked those streets and the water was chest high on me. So when you're getting, those were the 2 main focus areas. When you're getting water repeatedly, 8 to 10 feet in someone's basement, and it's chest high on me in the street and it's sitting there for days, that was the priority. Now that we've kind of addressed that, knock on wood, right? We are the punch bowl of Summit County. We're the lowest kind of area of Summit County. We have several tributaries that come into town. We're still meeting, we're still talking internally about addressing flooding in other areas. You guys passed for us to do a study kind of on the far west side, the far near west side, I'll call it that, the 29th Street where we met a few weeks ago, Columbia Heights, and kind of through that whole area. So that committee has kind of changed numerous times, so it still includes employees that fix storm sewers, they rebuild the inlets, things like that. From our street department, it obviously includes administration, it includes people from the water distribution garage. Over time, we've widened the scope to include the EPA, Copley, Norton. I had met with the mayor of Norton and Copley Township trustees previously about doing a new watershed, if you guys recall that, Wolf Creek watershed. A lot of hurdles we would have had to jump, especially since it went over into a different county. Our water actually comes from the Seville area and comes down through Montrose, Fairlawn area into Copley and Barberton. So we also have safety forces on this committee. You know, if there's a flood, there's an issue, they need to know what's going on as well. So a lot of flood-prone areas, and you know, we had the governor up here when he first got in office, and he brought everybody, head of EPA, head of Muskingum Watershed, Director of Development, you name them, they were here. We met at the foundation. You may have seen the press releases a number of years ago. A lot of people in those positions have changed. They've retired or they've left and moved on. So we still stay in communication, and we're now focused on the projects that we've done, kind of maintaining those projects, and the studies that we have ongoing so we can have future projects. So that's kind of the shakedown of the Flood Action Committee. There was a post this weekend from the West Theater stating that they had sewer backup and that no one from the city would help them or respond to them. As far as I know, and I had a meeting at 4:30 off-site and then had to meet with Councilman Heidick after that, so I've not talked to Mr. Shreve in a number of hours, but as far as I know, we have no record of them contacting anyone in the city. We're still verifying that because they could have called some number, right? And we're still trying to make sure that if we have record of that or not. But they did not call my office that I'm aware of, or anyone else. There was an email. I'm assuming someone from West Theater reached out to ODOT because it looked like a generated, self-generated kind of work order ticket. That was sent to someone at ODOT, who then forwarded it to our inspector, who forwarded it to Kenmore Construction and ODOT. And then it came through my inbox, probably close to 4 o'clock on Friday. Had a doctor's appointment, so I was not in the office. So people are looking into it. I believe the post said something about, this started in May or June of 2024. And I don't have the post with me, so I'm kind of regurgitating what I remember. So could be off a little bit. Before our project started, there was a gas line replacement. And I believe that the gas line was close to the building. The sidewalk ripped up and that gas line was abandoned, and then they put in a new gas line. And then our project started shortly after that. There was in this email stating that the sewer was about 11 feet deep, yet to replace the gas line, the water line, things like that, they only go down probably a max of 5 or 6 feet. So they're still working on it, trying to determine if it's just an old line, if it was crushed, if it broke apart, if it's an original line, things like that. They don't feel that, from the email I saw, that any tampering of any work done above that would have impacted something that deep. But this is still being worked on, so just wanted to give you an update. Not everything on Facebook is accurate. Obviously, we want to work with businesses. The more successful businesses are, the more successful the city is. So we'll do everything we can within the law to help people. So we're still kind of researching this to see if they contacted or tried to contact anyone at the city, and obviously we're working with Kenmore and with ODOT on this as well. So a lot of information there. Moving on, I did hold open office hours this past weekend, so I want to thank everyone publicly who stopped in, at about 5 people. Great questions, had some issues that we had to resolve, so we're working on that. Also last week, very busy, had the Barberton Academic Hall of Fame luncheon. Great to kind of reconnect with some people I went to high school with and some others who I have known about. Barberton alumni who are doctors, lawyers, in the military, professors, community ambassadors, and the like. So it was a great luncheon. And want to publicly acknowledge our own officer, Marty Everhart, was inducted into the Academic Hall of Fame. Also last week, I was present for a press conference in Akron announcing the Unified Early Learning System. It's a new program. I believe there's 7 schools in Akron that this is going to be introduced to, and 1 in Barberton. Really starting from birth to 5. A lot of education programs start year 3, year 4, things like that. All the research is saying you got to start earlier, so from birth to 5. The city's not putting any money into this. We're going to see how this works. Hopefully, if it's successful, as all the data points that it will be, hopefully it's expanded. So, great to work with the City of Akron, the Barberton Community Foundation, and all the foundations in the Akron area to help better our youth. The more successful they are in school, the better start they get, the more successful they should be as adults and more community oriented. So very, very important. And then just finally, the request for qualifications on the City Justice Center project were released Friday on our website. They were in the paper, the Beacon Journal as well. And so we're getting that out. I believe they can start submitting proposals in October. I believe it's the 4th of October. So, been pretty busy over the last few weeks here. So, any questions? Yes.
You named some of the people that were on the Flood Action Committee, or whatever you want to call it. Who's on the Utilities Appeal Commission?
So, Pat Betts, Dan Knorr, and Eddie Lawson.
Pat Betts, Dan Knorr, Eddie Lawson.
Eddie Lawson. Yeah, and so for the Stormwater Flood Action Committee, you've got the Service Director, Stormwater Department, Service Department Management, Handymen, Utilities Department, Police, Fire, Water, myself, Planning. So.
Okay, then I have one more question. In the 32 years that I've been in this city, never have I seen a nixle put out about a change in ordinance. Who authorized the one regarding the trash can ordinance?
Not sure. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay. Because I just know that I know when I was a police officer, I used it to put out road closures, have people steer away from incidents that might call for lots of police officers or fire departments, down trees. Never in 32 years have I seen nixle used to, how it was used in regards to an ordinance being changed. Not that I say it's a bad thing. I'm just going to say that in 32 years, I've never seen it done. So I was just wondering who put that out, who authorized it, what have you.
Yeah, I can look into that for you if you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Also, going back to the stormwater, originally we had residents. Mr. Griffin sat on it. He lives in a flood-prone area. Former Councilwoman Joyce Coburn lived on 14th Street. She was a part of it originally. Somewhat interesting, we had other residents who had flooding complaints and wanted to be a part of it. And when they heard what was happening in South Barberton and on the near west side, a few people said, I don't have an issue compared to what you guys are dealing with. I'm going to remove myself from this board if that's okay. So, always looking for residents who want to see the bigger picture and focus on that. Because obviously some residents are focused on their own property, which we totally understand. But when you become a part of a committee, like a council, you got to focus on the big picture. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned residents. I'm sorry, she had first.
Two things. To Councilman Harris's point, though, if you started putting out every ordinance that passed, I think people would then start to miss emergency messages because your nixle would be going off all the time. So, and I thought it was reserved for more of an emergency or to draw attention to. But anyway, yesterday when I spoke to Mrs. Green, or Miss Green with the West Theater, she said that Matt Weedman had been over.
Okay.
So he might be someone to talk to. And I want to say Dow. Is there a Dow? D-A-L? No. Okay. Then Dale. We got a Dale.
I don't believe so.
Oh.
Go with Matt then. I know she said Matt.
We don't know.
We do have a Matt, yeah. We have like 3 or 4 mics.
No, it wasn't Mike.
No.
Give you a start.
Lots of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Since we're pretty much at the end of the, or real close to resurfacing, I know we have contingency money and stuff like that in there for unforeseen sub-base type repairs. We run into any of that stuff, or are we looking at alternate roads? Do we have anything else coming up?
I'm not sure where we stand on how much money is left over. They did do some repairs on State Street.
That seemed like 8 or 9 of them.
And I know there's been some repairs in other areas, some curbs that we reestablished because they just had failed. So I'm not sure how much is in that kind of line item. You had asked about some of the concrete around the existing castings being taken away.
Yes.
So in speaking with Mr. Shreve, the feeling was that when they resurface the road, that concrete's going to be, the grade's going to be off. And so they thought, let's take it out and reestablish it so it fits the grade of the asphalt.
We'll say this so it's in the minutes. They poured asphalt this deep, not a compactor, tamper, person's boot or tire around to compact the sub base before they're going to put the top layer on. Just if we have failure prematurely around those castings, it's because they put this much asphalt into a trench, 12 or 15 inches round, and it wasn't compacted.
I mean, I believe they'll be back to actually replace that with concrete.
If they're going to drill them out, that's
It's a
great.
process called Mr. Manhole. They take a giant hole saw,
Yeah.
they saw around the manhole, and then it's concrete, and they set the grade of the casting. But that is actually after the
Correct.
final course.
Yeah,
is done.
well, we have ones on Fifth Street that are failing. They're sinking and they're all busted up. Anywhere from the hospital to Mapco now. There's several there that are, I'm just saying it so people keep an eye on it, so if stuff starts to go south, we can look at that, but I just wanted to bring it up.
So, Councilwoman Gearhart received a question last week on corner of Worcester Road West and 14th Street going westbound. Whoever sent the question and said it was eastbound, but it's westbound. They've got the two ADA ramps there, but it's a curb. Like there's no ramp.
No way to ramp it.
So they got the truncated dome. I learned that from Mr. Shreve. Truncated dome, the rubber mat. So I reached out to the inspector. That will be taken care of when they put the final coat of asphalt on, which they have not done yet. But it's a curb, so.
I figured it was still in process because it's not.
It's still a construction zone.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to be careful, but I'm interested to see how that plays out. So if you get questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. If anybody gets questions or beat up, I don't know how many people have been like I have, but the whole trash can thing, we're not, no, seriously, we're not ogres. I had a resident say he put it out one night, the next morning an emergency came up, he had to leave town for 2 days, so he couldn't get it back. He didn't get ticketed. He said, what happens in that scenario? I said, they're appealable. You bring it, if you do get cited and something like that happens, as the mayor said, you appeal it to BZBA, explain what happens, and I said, they're probably gonna tear it up. I can't guarantee they will, but we all know life happens. We've all seen certain properties that never bring them in. I'm sure our inspectors and the administration know which properties they are, and yeah, they're probably gonna be targeted. But if something happens in life that doesn't happen, you get a ticket, tell the resident, appeal it, and bring it in. How many, I'm sure you guys don't know because it goes to the court there, but people that used to mistakenly forget they leave their car out for street sweeper, how many of those tickets can we tear up? Pretty much all of them, because people forgot, and the court said, you know what, it's fine, it was $10. I think I'm the only one maybe in 2 years that paid it, because I did leave it out, and it was $10. But if you get a ticket and something happened, tell them it's appealable. We understand something happened, appeal it, it's fine. As for the utility one, I knew about it, the utility appeals, just because I've seen through codes and whatnot. But if I'm a resident, I'd be happy as hell if I never knew there was one, because that means I never had a problem. If your water bill is out of whack, if it's usually 75, 80 bucks, whatever it is, and one month it comes in at 300, tell them to call the utility department, and they'll point them and say, hey, something might be wrong. Here's how you appeal it, but in the meantime, obviously our guys can only do so much, but we can help see if maybe something's cracked or leaking, or we can do as much as we can. Obviously they're private, they can have to do their own thing. But if I wasn't on council and I would love to never know there was a utilities appeal board, because that means everything's working just fine. My utilities aren't going to hell and back. So if any resident ever has a problem with a bill, with a ticket, that's America. You can appeal it. That's why we're the government. You can appeal it. But again, we're not some monstrous ogres out on a money grab mission. Things happen. Explain it, appeal it, it's good. Thank you.
Yes.
Does the Utilities Commission do anything other than kind of review people who had a skewed bill and try to do something? They just do that?
Yeah, so you have to make application to them if you feel that you were billed erroneously. We've had people come in with a $1,000 bill, and they're a single person, right? And one case in particular, someone had family over for a holiday. Person never goes in the basement, but there's a restroom in the basement. It's where the family stayed. Toilet is running, they can't hear it, family left. A month later, the toilet's still running. You know, it's gone through the meter, so they work with them as best they can, but that's the only time that there's a meeting is when there's an appeal.
My friend, they left their hose on, so they had an astronomical bill. So the commission kind of reduced it by half, and then they spread the overage over the next 4 months to help them.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know if there was anything else that they did.
Yeah, no, just that.
Okay.
Again, not monsters.
No, not monsters. It was very kind of them.
Yes.
They just met a couple of weeks ago, and I went to that. There were 3 different individuals. I have to say, I think that for the city and for the resident, they did a great job at resolving that. So I was impressed and happy that we had it. So I got to see that firsthand just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. If you see the news, it was released not too long ago, but there's a neighboring community whose sewer bills are going to go up once again. I don't know by how much, but a pretty high number. We try to keep ours, I mean, we keep ours, you know, as low as we can, but still be able to provide the service that we're expected and legally bound to provide, right? So. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. With nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Heidick?
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll second that motion to adjourn.
It was moved by Mr. Heidick and seconded by Mrs. Thompson that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Didn't think so. This meeting is adjourned at 8:04 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Chair is sounding like a haunted.